Good evening, race fans. Welcome here to New Hampshire for tonight's New Hampshire 125. My name is Robert Hill Jr., hoping to be joined eventually by Chris Wright. But tonight, we're going to do action right here at New Hampshire. Oh, it sounds like Chris has decided to finally show up here. Better late than never, I guess, as we welcome Chris Wright into the booth. Chris, how you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing great. I was just down there on the grid talking to some drivers and seeing what we expected tonight. Not a whole lot of positive things to say about New Hampshire, but I was told to keep an eye on Gerald Campbell and the Tate Lytle situation.
It seemed a little warm in practice. Let's just go with that, Chris Wright. I know you didn't see much of practice, but it certainly was a little warm, that's for sure. As we take a look now at the starting grid here tonight, it's going to be Alex McCollum on the pole in the speed factor 31. Looks like he's got himself a paint scheme tonight, Chris. Nice to see some paint on the side of that one. He's going to be alongside the Lake Norman Motorsports number 40 of Tyler Fody on the front row. There's the aforementioned Tate Lytle in row number 2 alongside Lake Norman Motorsports Nick Massey in the 48. Chase Cabery and Matthew Weeks are going to make up row number 3. Row 4 going to go to a Leighton Norgard and Jay Connor here tonight, with Johnny Thomas and R.C. Enerson rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, and then in 11th, we've got Ethan Stanley right beside Chad Frankenfield. David Tooker back there. Ethan Burrell, Hunter Smith round out the top 15. Then we get into Tyler Pop, Seth Rawls, Vincent Isabella, Jesse Racimus, Britton Jones round out the top 20. Rounding out the field, we have Michael Hosick, Josh Robin, Gerald Campbell, Ty McIntosh, Gavin Hibbs round out the top 25. We've got Andrew McCall, Gavin Higgins, Jeff Ryan, Kyle Hanshaw, David Carpenter round out the top 30. Then we have Dustin Dewar, Michael Goodman, and Jaden Racimus. Connor Thompson and Andrew Hardcastle round out our 35 cars tonight.
Well, Chris Wright, pretty decent field for us here this evening. I believe the lights are already off on the iRacing.com pace car, so we're going to get set to go green rather quickly here tonight. Why don't you go ahead and make your pick to take the victory here tonight?
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm taking Nick Massey. We're sticking with Nick until he gets the checker flag. So we're taking Nick tonight.
A great pick there. I'm going to go right from the front row. I'm going to go with Alex McCullum here tonight. Very quick, big stack up in the back. By the way, we're wrecking already. Jeff Ryan goes around. Ty McIntosh, Andrew McCall, Jaden Racimus. Looks like Dustin Dewar might have been involved as well. We didn't even get a chance to throw the scoring tower up yet, and we are already under caution. So we're going to make some quick work here of the Rebilas photography replay machine. Take a look and see what happened. Big stack up there. Ty McIntosh just looks like he was having a nap there on the front straightaway. About 10 car lengths between himself and the cars ahead. Just didn't get going. Then when he did get going, he got sideways. Andrew McCall into him. Jeff Ryan going to get involved. Jaden Racimus, Andrew Hardcastle. Numerous cars involved. Numerous cars done for the day before they even really got started, Chris Wright. So we are under caution already here on lap number 1. First caution brought to you by Rebilas Photography. RebilasPhoto.com for all your photography needs. Of course, folks, check out Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg is the marketing department for small businesses, small business owners. Blue Egg is your biggest fan. Of course, the folks at Worldwide Technology Raceway on board with us here at Elite as well. Worldwide Technology Raceway there in Madison, Illinois, home to a 1.25-mile oval, 2-mile road course, quarter-mile drag strip, and a state-of-the-art karting facility known as the Kartplex. Check out Worldwide Technology Raceway today and let them know that the Elite Racing Network sent you. Chris, quick work there for race control already. Looks like you're going to be in for quite the night up there on the other side of the tower. Let's take a look at some liveries while we're here, folks. Of course, taking a look here, Tyler Fody out front. He's got Alex McCullum just behind him in that second spot. You can see him working his way up on the high side now. Nick Massey there in the Patagonia 48. Tate Lytle back there as well. Of course, we're starting to lose these cars. There we go. In the race CPI, days gone by 56. Chase Caber, another speed factor machine, except he kind of messed up the rear end of that car, Chris Wright. We'll see if we can get a look at it here. He's got the Peed Facto number 39 machine here tonight, covered by his headlights. So he didn't adjust the text properly to make it show up on the rear of that car, but looks like the lights are still on the iRacing.com pace car as the field continues to work their way around. And just an update for you folks at home, Ty McIntosh has called it a day after calling a day to a couple other people's vehicles here tonight. Andrew Hardcastle, Jeff Ryan, Jaden Racimus, and Andrew McCall all sitting on pit road.
All right, I am here. Sorry, Mr. Robert Hill and everybody at home. There was some other penalties that had to be doled out, so that went on the 75 car. Had trouble getting a gear and got a gear. Then he had trouble with the shift again, so he got the tally for the caution. The 13 car also got a penalty there for a lane change violation on the initial start.
Ooh, Tyler Pop with a lane change there. Okay. All right, we'll see how that one goes. Well, Chris, we've already killed 5 laps, and we've barely hit the gas pedal here so far. It could be one of those races for these guys tonight. You really never know how this is going to go. We'll take a look at the points a little bit later on in the event. Thank you to Dave Huckleberry for preparing those points files for us. And again, like I said, we'll probably have those under the next caution for you, give you a little bit of something to look at on the racetrack as we prepare to go green once again. These guys going to continue to work their way around behind Fred, the pace car driver, wait for their opportunity to hit that loud pedal and get going for hopefully a decent green flag run. As we get set to go green, pace cars off. We are about to get underway. Green flag is out. Tyler Fody on the loud pedal as you see towards the rear. Everyone trying to jockey for position. Looks like we're going to be A-OK working our way here. Yeah, Chad wide in the middle. 3 wide is Mr. Frankenfield. Let's jump up above. Looks like they're going to clear out there. Ethan Stanley going to get ahead of Chad Frankenfield. Frankenfield going all the way to the apron here. Jump into the inside. We'll see how this works. He's kind of known for making overly aggressive moves early on in a race, so we'll see if this pays off for Chad Frankenfield. Not sure if it will, but he is on the inside right now of Ethan Burrell. Burrell on the outside. Just ahead of them, there's Ethan Stanley, who's chasing down Jay Connor and a Leighton Norgard. Further up, though, looks like Chase Cabry preparing to make a move on the inside of Nick Massey. There he goes. They're going to be side by side. We're under caution. Gavin Higgins. And I believe Gavin Hibbs. So not a good day to be a Gavin towards the rear of the field. Let's take a look and see what just happened here to bring out caution number 2 here in the first 10 laps. It's going to be Gavin Higgins we're watching in that 20. He just loses it on the outside of Michael Hossack, collects Gavin Hibbs. He's going to hit the tire barrier. Hibbs actually looks like he's going to be A-OK, Chris Wright, but I believe Gavin Higgins might have knocked that steering out of position. We'll see with Hibbs here. Struggled to get the car spun around, so he might have a bit more damage than I anticipated, but that is caution number 2 of the day. It's a double Gavining.
Yeah, 20 cars going to catch the tally there. Unfortunate there that Gavin wrecked into Gavin there. It's like playing Madden with all those Bo Jacksons right now.
All the Bo's.
Got all these Gavins out here. Yeah, all the Bo's out here, all the Gavins out here running into each other. But unfortunate. Neither car looks like... And I don't know, like you said, it's really tough to say how hard they hit. Those tires, you would think, would be pretty soft, but the way iRacing has New Hampshire program, this is one of the OG tracks. And when you hit at New Hampshire, you hit hard. It doesn't matter what you hit.
That's exactly it, Chris Wright. You couldn't be more spot on with that. Doesn't matter what you hit, it's going to hurt.
Yeah, a lot of these places you can hit and it not be too hard, but it's something about the way they built New Hampshire. This is a track that is probably in most need of an update on the sim or a rework. It really, like I said, it's one of the OG tracks. I think the New Hampshire, the way it is, has been in the sim since, I guess, 07, 08?
I believe so.
Really, really early.
Chris, let's take a look at the current point standings. Tyler Fody leads by about 13 points over Ethan Stanley. Ethan Burrell there in third. Chase Cabry, after a very strong start to this season, currently in fourth position. Scott Crump in fifth. Matthew Weeks, Tyler Popp, David Tooker, Seth Ross, and Nick Massey round out the top 10 there. And just quickly jumping over, we also have the rookie points, and I believe this could take a shakeup today. Actually, never mind. I thought Ty McIntosh was still a rookie. He is not a rookie in this series, but Chase Cabry, he leads that by quite a bit, Chris Wright. 244 to 155. Yeah, I would say it is locked up for him. We may have had a different story. Had Corey Himes showed up more, but he did not.
Yeah, this not been Heim time here at all, really, you know.
Chris, we're going to step away just real quick here. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
3 wide every restart.
And we are back here already at New Hampshire. Very quick work of that caution. Tyler Fode out front already. Watching a little bit of action further back. Chad Frankenfield and Ethan Stanley nearly coming together. Stanley dives to the inside, trying to make quick work there of Jay Connor and a Leighton Norgard. Further up, though, Nick Massey, Alex McCullum going to go side by side for position number 2 on the racetrack. We'll see what they can do. Tyler Fode continuing to lead, though, Chris, right?
Yeah, Tyler Fode continuing to lead here as we just keep making these John Forces. One car that's, we saw right there take off 3 wide again. It's Chad Frankenfield, takes off 3 wide every time. A lot of these guys are hoping to set in and get into a rhythm here and make a long run. So we'll see if we have the ability to do that here as everybody's getting strung out for the first time in this race.
Watching a little bit further back, looks like some guys getting a little bit squirrely, but able to gather it up. Had a quick moment there for Jesse Racimus. He's going to be A-OK now. Nick Massey losing a spot there to Alex McCullum. Chris Wright, he's going to go side by side down the back straightaway now with Chase Cabry. Looks like they're going to have themselves a nice battle working their way through turns 3 and 4. You can see Cabry up on the high side behind a Speed Factor teammate of Alex McCullum. Very tight on the door of Nick Massey, but they're going to be able to work their way through 3 and 4 just fine. Looks like we might have a shuffle a little bit further back. I believe that's around the Leighton Norgard machine. Going to be tight there with Hunter Smith as you see them work their way through the corner. Some contact there. David Tooker checks up. Vincent Isabella going to get moved up the racetrack by Jesse Racimus. They're going to be quite okay, though, able to stay solid, stay green here as Tyler Pop goes to the inside of Brent Jones. They're going to work their way through turns 3 and 4 as Fode continuing to lead. Looks like Massey going to continue to fall as Tate Lytle now goes by. Ooh, nearly contact there with the Speed Factor teammates.
Yeah, and I talked to Nick a little bit before the race as well. He said he was pretty good tonight. Didn't think he was good enough to win without some strategy or some things happening, but pretty solid night he expects. And that back to that deal there off of 2 with the Leighton Norgard in that group. You can see that coming. They had ran up on a Leighton. They were trying to pass him. I think RC had just got by him. Tooker was trying to get by him. He kind of shut the door. They checked up, and everybody got away lucky, I guess, to still have a race car. Some guys are going to be frustrated about the track position they lost, but lucky to have a race car. And here real quick, at the start of the night, I want to wish everybody happy Easter. Hope everybody had a good Easter there with family and friends and got to eat a lot of food.
Oh, Chris, that everybody ate a lot of food over Easter. I mean, anytime you have a holiday, grandma always cooks too much food, or the aunt that you visit twice a year makes a bit too much, and everyone's just absolutely stuffed. I'm hearing Chad Frankenfield, I believe, saying something. Let's jump back to him and see what's going on with that 15 machine. Looks like he's all on his own, so not sure what old Chad's got going on, but he's just out there for a cruise. Yeah, that's not going to happen. He's going to force 3 or 4 wide at some point. Let's take a look, though, Chris, see who's doing what at this point. Not many big movers. Actually, the biggest mover of the day is Connor Thompson, started 34th. currently scored in 27, so he's up 7 spots on the day, able to avoid that lap 1 incident right ahead of him there. He's got some decent bodywork issues on the right side of that 16 machine, so not sure what happened to him. Might have just had a little kiss with the outside wall. As you see Gavin Higgins there side by side with Dustin Dewar. They're working their way around the racetrack as it looks like somebody had contact with the wall there, as they do continue on. Chris, this is a guy we got to monitor here tonight. Gerald Campbell in the 00. Like you mentioned as we were getting set to go, he's still not too pleased about what happened last week when he got spun sideways up towards the front of the field. He has not really calmed down much this week whatsoever. So we'll keep an eye on the Simply Racing podcast 00 of Gerald Campbell as this event progresses and see if maybe a little bit of payback comes into play. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I want to take a look at this line that Chase is running up here. He is running the very OG NASCAR line that a lot of people in the sim don't run. It typically doesn't allow you to. But something that we've seen over the last 6 months to a year on iRacing is you've been able to get down there and run on the apron and run on the flat. And that's something kind of new to these guys on the sim. You know, like I mentioned, New Hampshire's one of the oldest tracks. And for the longest time, it was second, third, fourth lane. That was all you could run. But you see Fody trying to protect it a little bit here. Driving in just like they would drive in that bottom lane. Driving across those seams, every time they drive across the seam, it's kind of a little bit of a different banking. You know, it's got a little bit progressive banking all the way to the top. And Chase is really trying to make it work there, pulling up on the bottom.
Yeah, Chase trying to make quick work of the inside lane. Not quite able to do it as of yet. We'll keep an eye on him, see if potentially he opts to do something a little bit different as he has been doing so far, running that inside lane, maybe try to match Tyler Fody a little bit, take a deep dive into a corner. But Chris, we're already coming up on about a fifth of the way through today's race. It's going to go by relatively quickly for these guys. Only 125 miles in distance for the race itself. 125 laps on this 1 mile track. And take a look at the track temp there real quick. 123 degrees Fahrenheit. It is quite hot out there on the racetrack here tonight.
Yeah, but no rain. I was really pushing for us to get a little bit of weather, you know. We saw them boys
Chris,
do it
you're getting
last
enough weather there tomorrow, brother. I don't think you need any more weather here tonight.
Well, that's a little different tomorrow. It's going to be wild. Going to be real bad weather here in the Ohio Valley tomorrow. Right,
anyone watching from Ohio, be sure to stick to your radio, stick to your TV tomorrow, because things are going to get pretty crazy over there. A lot of meteorologists expecting big things in the atmosphere.
But I was pushing for a little bit of rain out here in New Hampshire. I wanted to see Chad put a little bit of rain out here. And I know the iRacing doesn't have the oval tile yet, so it's kind of tongue-in-cheek. But I cannot wait for iRacing to get us that wet weather tire for these short ovals, because it looks incredible to run in. The drivers did a great job last night. I feel like NASCAR kind of treated it with kids' gloves, but the drivers did a really good job. And I think they could have let it go. You know, I think NASCAR could have let them run in that for a little while longer and seen how it worked out.
Chris, I was quite startled for a second there when I saw Alex McCollum running about 250 down the back straightaway, but for some reason our telemetry tonight is showing in kilometers. So let's see if we can get that changed up, because
what's a kilometer?
That's a Canadian measurement. Now let's try to get a proper read. No. Now let's get a proper read on what Alex McCollum is doing out there on the racetrack. Actually, as Tyler Fody and Chase Cabry continue to battle, let's get a read from Chase Cabry instead in the speed factor 39 as he works his way down the front straightaway. Tops out at about 150 on the front. Let's see what he does on the back as Vincent Isabella takes it pit side in the 3 machine. We saw him get jacked sideways a little bit earlier on, so potentially some issues from there. Yeah, it is getting dark, Chris. Hopefully not as dark as the race we called about a week ago. Yeah, a week ago tomorrow that ended in pitch black. We ended up having to change servers, but luckily that's not the case here this afternoon. Just a little bit cloudy on the racetrack, I do believe.
And I will say this, and you can speak to this too. You can feel this. When the shade comes over, you can feel the car turn. It's a little tighter.
Oh, yeah.
You can feel the grip in the racetrack. You got a little bit more grip. When the weather changes this drastic, you can feel that in the race car.
Well, that's one thing we'll keep an eye on as well, Chris. We mentioned the track temperature of 123 degrees not too long ago. We'll see how that changes as the day goes on.
Just with this cloud, it's 118 now.
Yeah, exactly. Still showing me 123, so we'll go with your 118. It's 5 degrees cooler, folks, out on the racetrack. But let's see if we got any other battles to take a look at, and we do. We got one back here. This is quite the battle, actually. Hunter Smith, Tyler Popp, Gerald Campbell, and Jesse Racimus all together on the racetrack. Jesse jumping to the inside of Hunter Smith there. Smith up on the high side of Tyler Popp. 30 laps in, folks. 125 on the docket here tonight. 4 sets of tires, and just quickly, halfway bonus, end of lap number 63 coming to 64. So the leader at the end of 63 will get I believe it's just an extra point, Chris, but still nice to get that point anyways.
Yeah, and it's very interesting seeing the line that these guys are running, the way they're moving around the racetrack. I like to see it. This is something that iRacing has put a lot of work into. And I know I keep harping on it every week. Every week I'm talking about how the lines are able to move around, but this is something as a driver and as someone who uses the sim frequently that we've been wanting for a long time. Is a better tire. We want updated, graphics. We want the cars to be able to move around, run all these different lanes, and you just can't do that. Like Homestead should be one of the best races that we run, and for a long time we've went to Homestead, and it's been a 1-lane track. And so this is something that is very new to these drivers, being able to have that mobility and the tire a little bit different. We just keep moving forward. I can't wait to see what we've got over the next year.
They've definitely made some great progressions. Chris obviously brought in rain, which is something that's been in the works for countless number of years. They've made improvements in a lot of areas. Hopefully they get to the point of a better tire model. In my opinion, we're kind of lacking there as Alex McCullum slides up the racetrack ahead of Tyler Fode. That opens the door to the inside for Fode. Tate Lytle actually had to check up a little bit to avoid getting into the back of these drivers as they work their way around this 1 mile oval at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Lytle on the high side now of Tyler Fode. They're going to continue their battle as Fode going to continue to stay ahead just barely of the Tate Lytle machine. We'll see what happens between these guys, but looks like there's a battle a little bit further back as well around the Chad Frankenfield, Jay Connor, RC Enerson machines. We'll go back to that shortly, but this is one heck of a side-by-side battle as the JD Designs number 40 of Tyler Fode trying to get his spot back. Looks like he's going to concede there to Tate Lytle. Get in line, just ride rather than wearing the tires out any further as McCullum no, actually, that is Chase Cabry going by the lap car there of Jeff Ryan in the 35. Of course, Ryan involved in the lap 1 incident. He's just out there turning laps at this point, Chris, trying to get to the position where maybe he could get a wave around at some point, get back towards the lead lap. We'll keep an eye on him throughout the night, see what he can do, but the battle we were watching was back around RC Enerson. Looks like it's dissipated now as we ride on board here briefly with David Tooker, looking ahead to the RC Enerson machine. Enerson, the last car in the top 10. And Chris, let's take a moment actually to just quickly touch on this driver right here, RC Enerson. Folks, if you're in, don't say that right now, Chris.
I'd be slacking.
Chris, don't say that right now. We're trying to pump his tires a little bit here. If you're involved in any sort of business that has some marketing funds they're looking to spend, RC Enerson, driver of the number 50 machine, is looking to take part in the Indy 500 for the second year in a row with the Able Motorsports team. So reach out to him if you got some extra funds in that marketing pot. Reach out to him, get on the car, help him make this happen. Let's see that number 50 50 of RC Anderson back in the show. They beat out some good cars to make it last year. Let's make it again this year and put on one heck of a show for the number 50 machine at the Yard of Bricks, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
The reason he's slacking, he hasn't had much sim time lately on here with us.
Oh man, he's been cooking trying. Yeah, he did just race COTA in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, was running really well, and then iRacing hit him with a stupid rule where he ended up, or not iRacing, I'm so used to iRacing, but NASCAR hit him with a stupid rule where apparently he cut the course a little too much on one corner. They gave him a 30-second penalty. He went from a really solid day to, hey, we were here. But RC Anderson putting in the work. He's at the shop all the time. He's calling the partners, trying to work the phones, get something together. Reach out to him. Let's make it happen. You can be a part of something magical and something historic for the driver of the number 50 of RC Anderson.
Yeah, I'll just put this out there. I'll come over and spot for him for free if somebody can get him a ride.
You probably won't.
Oh, I could. Indy's not too far. He's done.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, they're bouncing off that Jeff Ryan lap car right now, too.
Yeah, you're likely not going to be spotting for him. Look at this guy. It's your teammate on the Cup side, Johnny Thomas, on the inside lane. He's trying to work his way up there with Gerald Campbell, see what they can do out there on the racetrack. Not much so far.
Yeah, Johnny's been trying
this
to
is tight, though.
Looks like he's got a little bit of rear damage.
Tyler Pop, Seth Rawls. Pop, Chris, you EOL'd him not long ago for a lane change. He's already worked his way back up to 14.
I mean,
yeah,
he
Chris,
broke the rule.
Chris was looking. He was like, hey, you're getting a penalty.
This isn't NASCAR. This isn't NASCAR from last night where we're just going to let Denny jump the restart by 2.5 car lengths, you know?
Hey, Door bumper clear said there could be some. Oh, this is tight right here. RC Anderson, Chad Frankenfield. If RC dumps him, he might lose a sponsor.
If RC dumps him, I'll come over and carry tires. I'll do whatever needs to be done. I'll carry RC back and forth to the car.
They don't carry tires on the IndyCar side, I don't think. I think they just lay them on the ground and wait. Or is that Formula One where they just sit there?
Somebody puts them there. Somebody's got to carry them.
No, man, they magically pop up out of the.
They just snap their fingers.
Yeah,
there they are.
You know, like the end of the buffet line when you go to the Chinese buffet, and all of a sudden the plates just appear in a stack. Oh, look at Chad blinking out there. What a guy. Anyway.
Buffet sounds really good. Are we going out after this?
Yeah, let's go. My budget might be like a 7-Eleven buffet, but let's go.
Hey, a buffet's a buffet, dude.
That's right. That's right. Chase Cavery, Alex McCullum out front, a third of the way through this one already. They have pulled away from Tate Lytle, who looked like he struggled a little bit there on entry in the corner. Tyler Fody and Nick Massey closing the gap just behind him. Let's see if any of them are able to get up there, work their magic. But let's take another gander through the field, see if we have any other solid battles on the racetrack. Looks like that one around Seth Rawls, Tyler Pop, and Jay Connor is the best one we currently have. Gerald Campbell, Johnny Thomas joining the fight as well. What I wonder is potentially could we... Oh, Kyle Hanshaw had a moment right there, Chris. I want to take a look at this one. I believe he almost hit the tire barrier. Let's take a look on the Rebilas photography replay machine. He is down working his way around the apron, which we've seen some drivers do. Nah, he was just running really low. Okay.
Yeah, I like that line. He just got to come off the speed with a little, or come off the corner with a little bit more speed than that.
Well, he needs a little bit more speed because that's the leaders right there. Just behind him. And hey, look at this one. Tyler Fody, Tate Lytle. Let's go side by side down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Tyler Fody dives down to the inside of the Tate Lytle machine. Lytle, I believe, was going to make his real world racing debut this past weekend, but unfortunately it got rained out. Him and his father got themselves a dirt car. They were going to go down there and race the 56T, but no luck this past weekend. Hopefully this week they can get out there and put on a show.
Oh,
Fody's putting on a show.
Wow.
Fody trying to move him though.
Well, I don't think that was Fody trying to move him as much as Tate was.
Fody wasn't giving up, but Nick Massey ain't giving up either. Let's jump up above these guys, man. this is fixing to get quite tight off the corner. Fody may have just got a little slice of the outside wall. Not anything too significant if he did, as his teammate Nick Massey going to the inside. He's going to give a little punterino to Tate Lytle, let him know that he's there. Doesn't quite move him or anything of the sort, but they continue to battle down the back straightaway. Great fight amongst these drivers, some of the top guys in the Elite Racing League. And I just want to point out, when it comes to the Belly Up Sports bracket, Chris Wright, this was supposed to be a toss-up or a matchup between Tate Lytle and Tyler Fody, I believe coming up this week in the Charlotte race on Wednesday night. Tate Lytle not going to be there, so himself and Tyler Fody have agreed to duke it out at Daytona a little bit later on at the regular season finale. So keep your eyes open for that one. That should be one heck of a good fight between those guys. A couple of drivers dropping a little bit through the field. Johnny Thomas, Tyler Pop. Actually, Thomas going to gain a spot there on Gerald Campbell. Nearly coming together. That wouldn't have been too good, because I don't think Johnny Thomas would have taken too kindly to that one, as Brent Jones in a bit of a fight of his own back here on the inside of Dustin Doer. But we got to go back up front, Chris Wright. We have a battle brewing for the race lead between the Speed Factor teammates of Chase Cabry and Alex McCullum.
Yeah, and these two have driven off and left the field sitting. That battle for third, you see them half a straightaway. So these two have separated themselves. Now we're getting into the green flag pit stop territory here. They can run to about 75 or 80. So the pit window is opening up right now. If you chose to pit now, you
Josh
could run
Robin
to
to pit road.
Nobody wants to go this far on tires, I don't think. I think Josh Robin's open for a caution.
You have 4 sets. You have 4 sets of tires, Chris, so you can definitely use them. We're already quickly approaching halfway. I believe we're 13 laps away from that point now. So could we see somebody down in the next handful of laps? I think the leaders will try to stay out for that halfway point. I mean, if you're Alex McCullum, does the halfway point mean anything to you? No, it really doesn't, because this is only his second start. So if he could play the strategy game, come down pit road and change things up a little bit, why not? As you see ahead here from the view of Chase Cabry, that is Kyle Hanshaw, the last car on the lead lap currently. So we'll keep our eyes open here, but here comes Alex McCullum as he makes the pass on the outside of his Speed Factor teammate of Chase Cabry. I don't think that battle's done quite yet, though. These guys going to continue to duke it out side by side. As you see them work their way off of turn number 2. They're headed down the back straightaway. It is McCullum still out front of Chase Cabry, though. Cabry going to dive back down to the inside as they continue to be side by side, working their way towards the front straightaway once again. Coming up to lap 52, 11 to go in this first portion of today's race, in the first half, I should say. So already, like I said, quickly approaching halfway. Very quick work by these guys. Today it's McCullum, Cabry, Lytle, Fody, Massey, the top 5. Then it's Weeks, Enerson, Stanley, Tooker, Frankenfield, who's lost a handful of spots, and it is Ethan Burrell just behind him on the outside of the top 10, currently scored in position number 11. As we do approach the lap traffic, let's see how quickly these guys can work their way around Kyle Hanshaw. Hanshaw gonna drop down to the inside. McCullum has to check up here, Chris.
Yeah. Has to check up, but he's going to keep the lead. It's going to work out. Oof.
That was sketchy. That was very tight. Hanshaw gonna, wow, okay, he's just gonna slam the wall on the outside. So doesn't try to move out of the way till the end, and then he completely moves himself out of the way up into the outside wall. And Chris, I think it was a heartbreak moment for Josh Robin. I believe he might have got a speeding penalty and had to work his way back down pit road. Already made his stop, but now back on pit road. So you take a look at the pit strategy. Nobody up here in that top 8 has come down pit road quite yet. We'll keep our eyes open for the first driver to make that move, and I expect that to come within the next 10 laps or so.
Yeah, I'm talking to some drivers now. A lot of them think that if they're running pretty good right now, they're going to stay out for a while. So we'll see what happens here. I'm looking at guys who are struggling. Like Chad's typically one of the first guys to pit, so I'm looking for Chad Frankenfield maybe to pit here in the next handful of laps. Gerald Campbell typically likes to be on the front side of the fuel run, so I'm looking at him. I'm looking at some of these guys back here. Maybe Ethan Burrell tries to get some track position doing it. So we'll see what happens here. One car that's coming through the field after I kind of said something about him earlier, about how he, has been struggling. And that's RC. RC all of a sudden here on this long run.
He heard you. He heard you. He didn't want your back talk there, Chris Wright. He said, I'm going to the front. I'm going to take this and show these guys why I'm the best out here. And that's what he's trying to do. We'll see what he can do about getting up there and going for that race lead on the second half of today's race. We see the battle up ahead of RC Anderson. It is Tyler Fody and Nick Massey duking it out for position number 4. Tate Lytle in a little bit of a world of his own as the Speed Factor teammates of Cabry and McCullum continue to duke it out, and they're coming up into some pretty thick lap traffic right here. That is Andrew Hardcastle. I believe that's Jeff Ryan as well, right ahead of them. Yes, that is Connor Thompson there on the outside of Alex McCall. Oh no! The lap car going to try to split and go down to the inside. That was really close once again for Alex McCullum. He is biting his tongue right now, biting his lip, just trying to hold on and not get involved in anything as he works his way around these guys, having to slice and dice. 5 laps left in the opening portion of today's race. I keep wanting to say stage, Chris Wright, but it's not a stage. It's just a halfway point that's going to come up to the leader at the halfway mark is nearly McCullum and Hardcastle coming together there. That was sketchy once again, as I do believe McCullum finally going to get himself a little bit of breathing space finally here. As you do see our leaders, no, they still got more lap traffic just ahead of them here on the racetrack.
Yeah, a lot of guys are starting to get tight. They're talking about how tight they are, so we'll see what happens here. We're approaching halfway. Not real sure what's going to be the outcome here when pit stops are going to start. I almost wonder if some of these guys aren't waiting for somebody else to start the cycle.
Yeah, as you do see out here, we're riding on board with Chase Cabry. That is Bubba Driver. Alex McCullum to his outside. That's his teammate as they work their way down the front straightaway. Lap number 60 now. Still 3 to go in this opening portion of today's race. Who's going to get the point? Is it going to be Cabry or McCullum? I believe Chase Cabry does need it a little bit more just to help himself in the points. As you see in the background there, I believe that's Jeff Ryan just got the outside wall. Might have actually been Connor Thompson. Yes, it was Connor Thompson as Jeff Ryan was on pit road. They're coming up now on David Carpenter. Next car ahead of him will be his Do Good Motorsports teammate, Michael Goodman, who's currently scored there in 24th. So we've lapped up to the top 25 as here we go. Pit stops. It's Ethan Stanley coming down pit road from the top 10. So expect this to trigger some additional stops here momentarily, Chris Wright, as these guys continue to work their way around the racetrack. Looks like Cabry likely to be the one to grab that playoff point in a couple of laps here, but I'd watch for the likes of Tate Lytle, Tyler Fody, maybe Nick Massey to come down next. RC Anderson stays out. Tooker going to stay out, as will Weeks. So maybe just a little bit early for that pit stop as you watch Frankenfield get by the lap car Josh Robin. That looked pretty tight to me right there, Chris Wright. As Robin going to dive back to the inside. He is on fresh tires as Dustin Dorr works his way to pit road. Here comes Ethan Stanley. He is the first car currently 1 lap down. He's going to rejoin the field just behind Ethan Burrell and Chad Frankenfield. So just behind the top 10. Not a ton of work is due ahead for Stanley, but here comes Enerson, RC Enerson to pit road in the Lucas Oil Racing School number 50. Matthew Weeks in the number 11 JV Designs machine for Pro Edge Racing, also down pit road. I would expect the rest of the Pro Edge cars to follow suit. This is the final time around here for Chase Cabry. He's going to gather up that halfway bonus point here this time. It's 63 coming to 64. So the point to Chase Cabry. I'd expect a lot more guys down pit road this time as they go by Michael Goodman here on the front straightaway.
Yeah, and we'll see how long these leaders want to run. We saw RC pit there. We're seeing a lot of guys, pit stops starting here. We'll see how this all plays out. None of our front, 5 have pitted yet? Is that where we're sitting at?
Currently the top guy, I don't count anyone in this top 20 as really having pit yet. Gavin Higgins and Tyler Pop both pit on lap number 8, but to me, that doesn't necessarily count as a pit stop in this particular cycle. So nobody that's on the lead lap right now, Chris Wright, has been down pit road on this current pit cycle.
We'll see how this works out.
Lytle just hit the wall. Cabry's downshifting here. He's coming to pit road. As is Alex McCullum, as is Mike. Okay, he's not. Never mind. He's just downshifting at this point. I guess that's what the tire wear is doing for these guys. I kind of expected him to come down pit road there, but opted not to. Michael Goodman, Andrew Hardcastle on pit road. Who's going to be the next one to come down? There's our answer. It's Seth Rawls in the number 25 machine for Shifty Sports. Leighton Norgard in the number 12 for Abbott Motorsports. Jesse Racimus in the KOR number 70, also coming down pit road. There's Brent Jones in the background for the Chromie Electronic Racing Team. T-Cert making his way to pit road as well. The Speed Factor machine staying out as Tate Lytle gonna continue to hold. Oh, somebody just got a really bad exit there on that front straightaway, but here comes Chad Frankenfield down pit road, so he is the furthest up of this second group to come down pit road. Michael Hosick on pit road as well. We got to be close to the rest of these guys coming down pit road here, Chris Wright. We are past halfway at this point.
Well,
you could potentially split.
more.
I believe Jesse Racimus. It sounded like Jesse Racimus said he was coming down pit road, but I don't believe that was him.
It's going to be interesting to see how the strategy
There it is.
out.
It was Jake Connor coming down pit road.
And who's in the catbird seat? Did you want to pit short here? Do you want to run long? I'm in the place that if you can run long, you want to run long.
Oh, for sure. Top tires currently RC Enerson on the freshest, followed by Ethan Stanley and Matthew Weeks there. 14th, 15th, 16th as Gavin Higgins comes down pit road as well. These guys continuing to stay out on the racetrack. Maybe going to try to make it to 75. Leave yourself like a 50-lap dash to the end. I would expect fuel probably going to be around that window as well as Gerald Campbell comes down pit road here, Chris. Do you have any fuel numbers, Chris Wright?
They can run to about 85 or so. A little bit further,
okay.
Probably 85, 88.
Speed Factor boys to pit road. This will probably trigger as Chase Cabry, Alex McCullum both come down pit road. Tate Lytle gonna stay out. He's gonna take over the race lead. Tyler Fody, Nick Massey gonna stay out. David Tooker as well. Burrell gonna come down pit road. Tyler Pop gonna stay on the track. Johnny Thomas gonna also remain out, and Hunter Smith will be the last car not to have pit as of yet. So still 7 guys to come down pit road. Lytle, Fody, Massey, Tooker, Pop, Thomas, and Smith. And Tyler Pop, of course, can make it a little bit longer. Did come down on lap number 8. So I would expect him to be among one of the last guys to come down pit road here, Chris Wright. But we'll keep our eyes peeled as Tate Lytle continues to work his way through some lap traffic. That is Dave Carpenter right there. Michael Goodman nearly into the back at Tate Lytle. That is the speed difference, folks, between new tires and old tires as well. As you saw Goodman rapidly approach the rear end there of Tate Lytle as he started to struggle with the handling of that machine. Lytle continues to stay on the racetrack. Nick Massey continuing to test the limits of this racetrack, going all the way down to the inside as here comes Frankenfield trying to work his way around this group. And one thing to point out, I believe Ethan Burrell has lost quite a few spots in this pit cycle. He's all the way back to 18th, which has him scored 6th of the guys that have been down pit road so far. We'll keep an eye on that, see if he can gain a couple more spots. You see Hanshaw and Goodman looking to the outside of Tate Lytle, trying to get their lap back. Goodman not quite able to get there. Now Lytle going to close the door on them as well.
Well, I think Ethan was struggling already before. You know, he was running outside the top 10, so I think that's about where he was.
Call me crazy, but I thought Tyler Popp would stay out a lot longer than he did, knowing that he had that extra 8 laps, but he's opted to come down pit road here, Chris. And that might have been a good call because Cabry and McCullum were quickly approaching him already. They were just mere moments behind him, and he had yet to pit. So probably a good call there for Tyler Popp to come down pit road. Here's Hanshaw. Took a look. Oh, this might get a little sketchy here with Frankenfield and Hanshaw's. Frankenfield dives to the inside of the Kyle Hanshaw machine. Hunter Smith comes down pit road. So we are getting down to the last few guys to come down. It's going to be Lytle, Fody, Massey, Tooker, and Johnny Thomas left of guys that have not been down pit road as of yet. Of course, you see there Hunter Smith on pit road now. Who's going to be the next one to bite here, Chris?
Well, I'm not sure who the next one's going to be to bite. RC's back up to 8th. You know, Chase is up to 6th. I think Tate's got a number in mind. Tate typically doesn't go into these things willy-nilly, so Tate's got a number he's looking to get to, I believe, here.
I think this is the number right here. And it's not. Okay, just forget everything I say about pit strategy, Chris Wright. I will leave that to you.
One thing we got to watch here, Gerald Campbell's pitted and he's on new tires. He is passing Nick Massey going into one. We got to kind of keep a Gerald versus Tate cam here in case something crazy should happen.
I don't think Gerald's going to get back to him before the pit stop, if I'm honest with you. Oh, Josh Robin
in the next lap or two.
Robin hit the wall there. Tate's in quite heavy traffic right now. His teammate Ethan Burrell going to the inside of him. As we jump up above, there goes Kyle Hanshaw on the inside. Cabry McCullum on the back straightaway. Lytle working his way to the exit of the front straightaway, so he still has about a half lap over those guys who will eventually retake the race lead. But let's take a look at Gerald. Gerald is not far behind Tate Lytle at all. We're going to actually jump on board here with Gerald Campbell. You can see Tate Lytle. He's 3 cars ahead of him right now. He is not pitting this time. He slides up the racetrack, opening the door to Hanshaw. I'm feeling a little bit of warmth right here, Chris. You never know.
I want to tell you, it would be great for the
broadcast. He is sending it, though. Does he see that 56 now? Is that why he's sending it a little bit deeper?
Exactly. He knows where that 56 car is.
Yeah, right ahead of that nose right now.
Here we go. They're side by side. Oh, no love lost.
Tate came up a little bit right there. That wasn't necessarily Gerald coming down, but Gerald gives him a little buzz on the way by.
Kind of disappointing. I was hoping to see some fireworks.
It ain't over yet, Chris Wright. This race is not over yet. You never know what could happen. As Tate Lytle now just behind a Leighton Norgard, nearly making contact with that number 12 car. As Tate gonna fire back on the inside in the race API. Days gone by 56 machine. You see Norgard up on the high side. Lytle continuing to work his way around on the inside as Fody and Massey both gonna come pit side, as will Tooker. So Lytle gonna be the last car out here on the racetrack. A little bit of no man's land action there for the 56 as these guys go pit side. We'll wait for Tate Lytle to come down. Got to be getting close in that 56. Is he running this tank dry, hoping for a caution? Is this maybe what's going on?
I don't know. I'd say since those guys pitted right behind him, he's got to be thinking about coming here pretty soon. Because now you're so far into the run, you're not going to gain those spots back if you give them up to Massey and Fody right here, which is a high probability that he's going to give those up if he doesn't get into the
pit. So Cabry just past the start finish line now as Fody works his way off of turn number 2. So still about a less than half a track now, about 2 corners separating these drivers. We'll see if Tate Lytle comes down this time. He's definitely slowing up. He's not coming down pit road though. Wow. I don't know when he's going to come.
I'm really curious. I'm really curious what.
I don't know when he's going to come down pit road. Hanshaw just got the outside wall again. I mean, you can see it right here. Tate Lytle, the only car on old tires with. It still shows Thomas, Fody, and Massey on old tires, but of course they have come down pit road. Actually, has Johnny Thomas been down pit road?
Johnny.
No.
I don't know.
Johnny Thomas has not been down pit road either. He's definitely slowed a lot more than Tate Lytle. So keep our eyes on that. That's 3 wide right there. Let's see if we can get to David Tooker. He worked his way quickly through Josh Robin and Kyle Hanshaw. So they're A-OK. That 56 still out there ahead of his Pro Edge Racing teammate David Tooker as we are quickly approaching about 40 to go. Tate continues to lead. Cabry and McCullum only 6 seconds back now. Not so sure about this strategy, Chris, honestly.
Tate could run about 5 more, probably 3 to 5 more laps, depending on how he's ran, how he has shifted, if he has shifted. He's got about 3, 4, 5 laps. We'll see how long he wants to run here, but yeah, I think at this point we've went a little too far. He's over the edge a little bit here.
I'm just not too sure about him, man. I'm not sure what he's thinking, but hey, it is what it is. We'll wait and see. And folks, I just want to not plead with you, but let you know if you haven't subscribed to the Elite Racing Network YouTube page yet, now's a great time to do so. We're just 5 away from 1,000 subscribers on the channel. We'd love to have you along for the ride with us. It's easy. Hit that subscribe button. You don't have to hit the notification bell. You don't even have to slap the like button. Just hit subscribe. As Tate Lytle getting set to come down pit road, he waited a long time to make this stop. He's already about 20 or so laps later than some of these guys, but here he comes to pit road. Tate Lytle gonna come down. Chase Cabry right there. He's gonna take the lead, and we're gonna step away. We'll be right back. It's the New Hampshire 125 on the Elite Racing Network. Don't go anywhere.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And we are back here in the New Hampshire 125 at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Chase Cabry, Alex McCullum, and R.C. Enerson, the top 3. A little bit of strategy was just played, Chris Wright, as you see somebody getting real sideways down the back straightaway. I believe that was Josh Robin. Yes, it is. He's able to gather it up and keep us green. But these guys have really ticked off the laps relatively quickly. And like I said, some different strategy was just played, leading to Tate Lytle going from the lead to 17th, and Johnny Thomas going from the top 10 to 25th on the racetrack. What are your thoughts on that strategy, Chris Wright?
Well, I feel like to play the strategy of the long game, you needed to pit when Fody pitted and Massey and Tooker. You see where they are. They were running, I guess, what, about 4th, 5th, and 6th when the pit stop started. And so when they pitted, they ran longer than everybody. They are already 8th, 9th, and 10th. So if a caution were to come out, it's not a total loss. What Tate has done is he's basically put himself in a spot where if a caution comes out at all, he's lost track position that he's not going to be able to get back. He's not probably going to get back to those 3 guys and get back in front of him. They pitted and jumped him, and I just don't think there's enough time left in the run here to the end of the race for him to get that back. Now, Tate might prove me wrong, and if he does, that's great. I'm not rooting against Tate Lytle by any means. That's just my opinion looking at it where they stand right now.
Yeah, it's kind of a questionable call. I mean, it's hard for me to question Tate Lytle on his moves because typically he does something and it pays off for him. So we'll see what he can do. Maybe gets back up to the top 10. If a caution comes out, you really never know because, of course, he is one of the quicker cars. He has the pace, but he needs a caution to come out and give him an opportunity to get back up there, stay out when others have to go down pit road, and the strategy could play into his favor. But as of right now, it just kind of looks like the race was given away from him a little bit there as he takes a look to the inside of Seth Rawls down the back straight. They're going to be side by side. Lytle going to make quick work of him. Of course, the tire difference, you see it right here on the pit strategy. Tate Lytle has just a handful of laps on his tires. Meanwhile, others have 20, even 30 laps on theirs. As you look a little bit further up, Fody catching up to the rear end of Chad Frankenfield. Bumper could come into play between these guys. You never know. Ethan Burrell right behind them as well.
Hey, we're getting ready to do it again. We got to get that Gerald cam here. We are getting ready to do it again.
Gerald might not let him by so easy now that it's a position coming for Gerald. Let's keep our eyes on this one. We're going to go above once again. Take a look at the blimp cam. You see Lytle in that 56 just behind the 00 of Gerald Campbell. Let's see, Chris. Does the bumper come into play from either party? Taken pretty close to the Gerald machine. Is Gerald going to pinch him off? No. He's going to let him go right beside him, but the bumper could come into play in this next corner. Otherwise, maybe Gerald's just a little bit too much talk and not enough action on the racetrack. And, well, it looks like that might be the case, Chris Wright.
Yeah, Gerald's been a whole lot of talk this week, but didn't do anything there, so we'll have to remember that. Gerald's all talk, no action, right? That's what he is out here.
That's right. That's right. As Nick Massey on the inside of Chad Frankenfield, let's jump and take a look at this one as they work their way down the back straightaway to turn number 3. David Tooker just behind as well. Ethan Burrell right there. These guys working their way around the track. Chad just continues to blink, continues to say he's got no internet issues, Chris Wright, on that 15 machine. I don't know about that. It's continuous, Mr. Frankenfield, as Tooker on the inside nearly gets cut off by Chad Frankenfield. Nearly some contact between those two drivers as they work their way now down the back straightaway towards turn number 3. This is the battle for the 8th position. Frankenfield loses a spot. Tooker gets up in front of him, nearly checks up a little bit. That could have been a moment that Frankenfield might not have been too pleased about. As
yeah,
these
one thing
are
right here,
pretty close.
I talked about Tate maybe not pitting as soon as he should have. I mean, he's already going to start proving me wrong. Tate's already almost caught to the back of Tooker. He's up to that group here. We'll see if he equalizes.
But keep in mind,
he's already gotten closer.
Keep in mind, he gets in the top 10 here, Chris. He's still 2/3 of a lap down.
Yeah, but compared to the guys that he was racing, he's just behind Fody now. He's already proven me wrong here. With
if you're Ethan Burrell, you're hoping that 56 gets by without any incident, because last week your race got absolutely thrown out the window due to some contact with that 56 getting together with the 00. I don't think it'll come into play this time, but Ethan Burrell just lets his teammate go on by. Much fresher tires. Tate Lytle back into the top 10, takes a deep dive to the inside of Frankenfield, who's really just along for the ride at this point. Nick Massey continuing to trigger the pit entry horn, letting us know that somebody's pitting, but they are not. It's just he's driving way too low on the racetrack and nearly hitting the pit cones every single time as Alex McCollum gets by the 54 of Hunter Smith. They work their way down the front straightaway here, Chris Wright. We're going to be 25 to go next time by already. It's Cabry, McCollum, Enerson, Weeks, and Fody the top 5 as Josh Robin heads back to the pit road once again. I'm going to ask you this question, Chris. Typically at 25 to go, we do on the Cup side, they would do another set of race picks. We're not going to do that. I'm going to ask you this question. We've run really clean since the opening 10 laps of the race. Do we make it to the end without another caution?
Well, not now since you said something.
That's the question. Honestly, with the way these guys are racing right now, I just don't see it.
Oh, they'll find a way. Chad's on old tires. He's going to be in the way of some of these guys. He's going to get real defensive.
The only thing I could see happening, actually, speaking of Chad going around, I just noticed this, and we should have noticed this a long time ago. Scott Crump is not here tonight.
Yeah, I think that was announced pre-race there that he wasn't going to be.
I believe he's on a fishing trip with his brother. I do believe they were catching some mahi-mahi today. We saw some pictures of that over on Twitter. Looking good as Chase Cabery dives to the inside of Michael Goodman here. Puts him an additional lap down. Jesse Versemis up ahead's the next one to go a lap down. He's currently scored in position number 17. So we'll have 16 cars on the lead lap here momentarily. As let's take a look a little bit further back. Tate Lytle gets by David Tooker. Now has his sights set on Nick Massey. He is quickly working his way back towards the top 5. Let's throw everything we said right out the window here, Chris Wright, because this could be a pretty darn good move by Tate Lytle to solidify him a solid finish here tonight.
Yeah, I think what it's done is it's going to solidify in 3rd place. So Tate's going to watch this back, and he's going to say, man, Chris was talking all that trash about what I'm doing and what's happening out here. And he's going to say there's a reason Chris isn't racing in this series, and he's only broadcasting. So Tate has every right to come at me for that later this week. So making me look bad, making me look stupid, and I appreciate it. I love being proven wrong. I didn't think it was the right call, but he's going to get back in front of Nick. They're going to pass Weeks here. Both he and Nick are going to pass Weeks. And I think Tate's going to get back in front of Foden. I think he's going to easily get back to 3rd at this point.
It'll be interesting to see if he can make up that 6 seconds or so on RC Enerson, who currently holds on to the 3rd spot.
RC was the first car to pit. He's going to, I think this whole group probably catches RC.
41 laps currently on those tires for both Enerson and Weeks right now. So they should be able to make relatively quick work of them. We do have a battle brewing for the lead here, Chris Wright. Let's go ahead. Let's do some crank it up. Listen to the sounds of the cars here in the Rebilas Photography Grand National Series at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We're back here at New Hampshire. You just had a little bit of crank it up here on the Elite Racing Network. Here's your race leaders, Chase Cabery and Alex McCullum, working their way around. Actually, the lap car going to work their way around them. It's Josh Robin, goes by on the inside, gets up into the outside, nearly hits the wall. Actually, he does hit the wall and nearly hits the race leader. So probably not a very good moment there behind the wheel of that 39 machine of Chase Cabery. This is getting close right ahead of them as well. This is a battle for the last car on the lead lap between Seth Rawls and a Leighton Norgard. The 12 of Norgard on the inside, the 25 of Rawls on the high side. Here comes the lap car. Robin, they're going to be 3 wide. Is this going to work? I don't know. Rawls backs out, and we are A-OK. I did not think we were going to be A-OK there, Chris Wright.
Yeah, that could have been real bad in a big hurry, so kudos to everybody there.
Definitely a big kudos to... Oh, Rawls in the wall on the outside of Alex McCollum. It's unfortunate there for the Rocket Man, Seth Rawls. Having himself a decent day here today. Just getting up into the wall. Still a decent day in 16th. Don't get me wrong. It gained a couple spots on the day. Not doing too bad of a job as Nick Massey gonna lose a spot back here to David Tooker. Tooker gonna go on by up there on the high side, work his way to position number 7. And just a note here, Tate Lytle has gotten himself back up into the top 5. Tyler Fody, you can see him kind of at the top of the shot there in that orange car. 3 cars ahead of Tate Lytle is the next car in line for him. They have about a second separating them right now, and then it's another 4 seconds up to R.C. Anderson. 15 laps to go in the New Hampshire 125. So these guys doing a nice job, Chris Wright, so far for the Speed Factor team. Just looking, see if we have any other close battles on the racetrack. Gerald Campbell catching up to the rear end of Ethan Stanley. That's the battle for 11th on the racetrack. Stanley currently holds the spot. Gerald Campbell does want that position as he's all over the rear end of the number 92 Blue Egg Marketing Chevrolet for Lake Norman Motorsports. Looks like Gerald wanted it a bit too much and got himself nearly into the outside wall as we're working 14 coming to 13 to go here at New Hampshire.
Yeah, and like you mentioned there, these 2 cars way out front, they got themselves nearly a half a track lead over 3rd place. It's just those 2. However, we see these late cautions in Elite all the time. All it's going to take is 1 caution. Tire strategies to kind of go a different way. Maybe 2 tires. Maybe some guys stay out. Who knows? I'm looking here at the 56, and I'd be shocked to see him put left sides on if they pit again.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens if we do get a caution. As of right now, Chris, I really just don't expect it. These guys have done a phenomenal job since the opening 10 laps of the day. We don't really have any tight battles on the racetrack. I mean, Hunter Smith is in a tight battle with Jesse Racimus for 17th right now. But other than that, nothing really to write home about. Well, this is getting pretty close, actually, as they do get side by side.
Remember, the lap cars, too. You got people on different tires. Everybody
for sure.
At a different spot. Accidentally run in there too hard on a guy who's got 20 lap older tires and you get to the back of him. You know, gets a little. This place is notorious for getting really tight in the middle and snapping loose off. All it's going to take is one little thing, and we have a caution.
We're keeping our eyes on this battle. It is for 17th on the racetrack, but it's a battle nonetheless. As Hunter Smith trying to get that spot on Jesse Racimus. Looks like he's going to be able to do so. As Lytle and Fody closing their gap as well. Here's Lytle looking now, getting closer to that rear end of Tyler Fody. Took a look to the inside, wasn't able to do it quite yet, but still going to ride in the rear end of that machine, see if he can drop down to the inside. There he is, nearly up to the rear bumper of that Tyler Fody machine. These guys getting real close out there, Chris.
Yeah, but there's a lot of respect between these 2 guys. 2 of the best guys in Elite for many years, 2 Elite veterans. I don't anticipate contact between those 2 drivers. Taking a look there at Chad. Never count out contact around Chad.
You cannot count out contact, especially when the radio's lighting up saying, hey, just move him out of the way. You definitely got to keep an eye on that.
I'll tell you what, Fody just turned left on Tate, though. I mean, that was real close.
All right. We'll keep our eyes on this. This could come back into play here. You said he turned left on him. Is there a right turn coming up here? Oh, Lytle's sending it. He wants that spot, my friend. He wants it bad.
Fody trying to play a little defense. Not much he's going to be able to do, though, with the fresher tires. But one thing here with the laps dwindling down, the move by RC to really, really short pit, I thought they were going to get back to him.
Fody's still going to be there.
Again.
No, they're not going to get to him. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not unless he blows a tire.
Yeah, they're not getting to him. We could get a caution around this battle, though, if Fode's able to get back to Tate Lytle. Oh, yeah, he's going. All right. Here we go, Chris. This is on. It is on like Donkey Kong right here between the 56 and the 40. Tyler is absolutely sending it. Oh, they make contact. Let's go.
I am just going to be proven wrong time and time again. I said these guys got a lot of respect from each other. And they get down in there and they make contact, and I would have thought Tate would have been mad right there, but Tate came over and talked.
Tate was laughing about it. Yeah, he was laughing. I think it might be over now between these two. I think Tate's clear of him, and I don't think Tyler can necessarily get him back unless he just full sends the corner, which I don't expect him to do at this point. 6 to go, coming to 5 this time. Chase Cabre does lead Alex McCullum by 0.2 of a second, so we're going to jump up to that battle now. You see them both in the same shot. Coming up on Ethan Stanley, the 13th place car. Oh, that got tight right there. Cabre on the inside of Ethan Stanley. That could have thrown a big wrench into the works here today for Chase Cabre, as we are 5 to go. McCullum going to try to split. He's going to slide up, misses the corner as Stanley going to go back on the inside. Cabre loves to see this in his rearview mirror as he's going to try to pull away from his teammate. No.
Does Alex move him?
I don't think so.
What a chicken. If you're not willing to move your teammate for a win.
I don't think Alex would move him solely because of this fact, Chris. Alex is only making a second start. Chase is going for the championship in this series. Alex is not going to be eligible due to the race count. So I really just don't think he would move his teammate.
I don't know.
He might move him. He ain't going to wreck him, but he might take a low-risk opportunity to potentially bump him up the racetrack. I just think the handling of that 31 just doesn't seem to be there at this point.
I guess we'll see.
But we'll probably get proven wrong here. McCullum will go into turn 3 on the final lap and just full send his teammate or something. You just never know what is going to happen in this particular race. 3 to go. The field has done a phenomenal job here tonight, Chris. Even if we do get a late race caution at this point, everyone has done a great job. That is 12th place Jake Connor, 2 cars ahead of Chase Cabre at this point. What he doesn't want to see, though, is that blinking Josh Robin machine right ahead of them here. That can definitely cause a little bit of anxiety for a race leader, as we are 2 to go. Popsicle sticks in the air here. Both drivers moving up the racetrack. Cabre trying to block off the run of Alex McCullum as they work their way down the back straightaway. They're going to head for the white flag this time, Chris, and take just 1 lap to go. Shadows over the racetrack, but no shadows over the potential opportunity here for Cabre to get yet another victory here, as here he comes. White flag going to be displayed by Barney the flagman here this time. It's going to go home with speed factor, I believe, unless something catastrophic happens right here. But these 2 drivers, 17 seconds over 3rd place, R.C. Enerson, as they work their way down the back straightaway towards turn number 3 for the final time. The speed factor 39 of Chase Cabre getting set to go to victory lane once again in the New Hampshire 125. Checkered flag, Chase Cabre. It's Cabre, McCullum. Here's Enerson now. He's still got a little bit of work to do if he wants to get around the racetrack. Just now working his way through 3 and 4.
Tate almost got there.
Almost got there. Enerson crosses the line 3rd. Lytle 4th. Fode in 5th, followed by David Tooker briefly there ahead of Nick Massey. He's going to do his thing, go for a drift. Massey finishes in 7th, Weeks in 8th on his old tires. Frankenfield 9th, and Ethan Burrell round out the top 10. But once again, it's the Speed Factor team claiming victory here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We're going to step away. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk to Chase Cabre, Alex McCullum, and R.C. Enerson. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy. but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And we are back here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Going to hand it over now to Chris Wright, who's going to take care of our podium interviews here tonight, beginning with third place driver, RC Enerson.
Yeah, I am joined here by RC. RC, great run at COTA last week. Saw that, and hopefully you can get a ride for the 500. Let's get that out of the way. But take us through your night tonight, and what more you needed to get up there with Alex and Chase, because it looked like they had you all yarded out there tonight.
I don't think anybody had anything for them. I think they were on a whole other planet, or at least in a different car, I think. But no, yeah, they had it figured out. It was definitely a different line than most of us have seen here at this track. Normally you're running second groove, but they opened up that whole dive into the apron thing, and it was working. And I just couldn't really seem to get it to work, so I just kind of played the strategy to aim for third, and I mean I successfully did that. But it was definitely a tough one with tire wear.
Well, all right, real quick before we let you get out of here and celebrate this podium, and when you go back and look at this broadcast, I'll also say this. I'm gonna take credit for you driving up to third, because I talked about you when you were running outside the top 10 or right there at the back half of the top 10, and said that you were on the struggle bus there tonight, and then all of a sudden you turned it up. So I'm taking credit for this run. But any shout out to the sponsors? Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, of course. You guys up here in the booth, you guys do an awesome job. It's fun to go back and watch these. And then Chad, who runs the leagues, he runs I think it's 5-6 leagues, something like that. Like that's a full-time job in itself. So just to have a place for us to come race every night is awesome. And of course Lucas Oil School of Racing, they're on every single one of my cars. And then Pro Edge Racing, the team I'm with, they're an awesome bunch. We always have really good nights or really bad nights. Tonight was a pretty good night as far as for us finishing, even though these two, Alex and Chase, were just on another planet to us. We'll try to bring it back next Monday.
All right, RC, congrats on the run. Pro Edge is an all right bunch. I wouldn't say they're awesome. They're all right. They're all right.
Oh no, we're awesome for sure.
And hopefully we can hear something about you running here in the month of May here pretty quick. So look forward to seeing that take place, and look forward to seeing you next week here as you guys try to run down Alex and Chase. I think that's the talk of the town. Maybe you have to put a bounty on them.
Yeah, copy that. Thanks, guys.
All right, now we are joined by Alex, our second place finisher. Could have won the thing if he'd have licked the stamp and sent it. Alex, take us through your night. And, I'm just saying, a lot of people in the league would have sent that thing there at the end and tried to win the race, teammate or not.
Yeah.
Including league owner Chad Frankenfield. He would have sent it from way further back than you were. So take us through the night and what you needed to pass him.
Yeah. I don't know how I would have gotten around him there. I mean, we were just so equal. And, I mean, our pace was just, like, incredible throughout the run. And I don't think we really did anything, like, special. Like, we didn't really save. We didn't, like, we just kind of just went all out. And I don't know, our pace just kind of just steadied out, and we were just really good. But that was fun because he was running the bottom, and I couldn't run the bottom. I was just super tight down there. So I had to move up, and just with us running two different complete lines and being the same speed was pretty cool.
All right, Alex, before we let you jump out of here and celebrate with your teammate there and finishing first and second, any sponsors you want to thank, shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, I just got to thank Speed Factor, Chase, and everybody on Speed Factor, and then you guys for putting this event on. It's pretty cool to come run with you guys now, so look forward to the next couple races.
All right, Alex, we look forward to it too, and don't be afraid to send Chase next time. He'll be all right. You know? He's not going to catch a concussion over here on the sim. All right, now we are joined by a race winner, Chase Cabre. Chase, take us through your night there, and were you at all worried about those lap cars being in the way and your teammate getting to your bumper at all?
Man, that was fun. I love this place. It's always one of my favorite racetracks. I won the Cannon race here in like 2019, I think, and led a bunch of the other one when we came back. So even in real life, I've loved this place, and it's just a place that you can move around, and I feel like you can. It fits to me like a dirt driving style almost. I felt like because it paid off to be versatile, to move around, find grip, and I love it. And so I knew coming here I was gonna have a good time. And yeah, Alex and I were really even. I felt like, and in the first run there, he started to make a lot of time on me, and he was running a different line than I was. I tried it, and he still was making time on me. So I got, let him go by and try to learn behind him. And then I tried, running way down there and never getting up to the middle, kind of just touching it with the right front and letting the banking turn the right front back down the racetrack, and being able to use the off camera on the bottom to use the drive to go forward. So it started working. I drove back by him, and then it was we trying to figure out when we were going to pit, and kind of what the call was, and we decided to come down about halfway, and it paid off. So we both of us were really good tonight, and it was fun battling each other all night.
All right, Chase, before we let you jump out of here and go celebrate this win, I am not telling anybody that they should have ran into you tonight, by the way, or send it, or licked the stamp, and none of that thing. So if you hear any of that, it's all fake news. But any sponsors you want to thank, shout outs you want to give before we let you get out of here?
Just the Speed Factor group. Speed Factor. It's a team that I started with my buddies when we were probably 14 years old. So Alex actually works for Haley and I. He prints all the merchandise along with my younger brother. So it's cool to get him on board, and now we've got all of, hopefully my brother will get his approval after the next truck race and be able to run the Xfinity with us, and hopefully we get through these Speed Factor machines up front.
All right, Chase, we look forward to seeing that, and seeing you next week here as you continue to battle on. Going to win that Rookie of the Year title, it looks like, and who knows, maybe bring home that championship hardware at the end of the season. We can't wait to watch.
I appreciate it.
Well, Chris, that is your top three finishers: Chase Cabre, Alex McCullum, and RC Enerson here tonight. Why don't we go ahead and get some final thoughts from you as we watch the burnout of Chase Cabre there on the front straightaway. And Chris, final thoughts here at New Hampshire.
Well, final thoughts from me are we saw a lot of craziness early. I thought we were settling into a race that was going to have a lot of cautions. And then they surprised me, turned it around, and we ran green to the end, see some great strategies, some great pit stops. We got to see some, short pitters, some guys that ran long. I really bashed Tate tonight, and he proved me wrong, so I like to see that. I always enjoy being proven wrong, and especially by Tate. It's a guy that I talk to during the week from time to time, so I'm sure that I'll hear about that. And, it was a great race. I love to see some strategy races. It doesn't always have to be green, white, checkered, and we still got two teammates right there, albeit a half a lap ahead of third, but it was close enough to where something could have happened. So I can't wait to get to where we're going next week and see how this thing plays out.
Yeah, definitely a good one here tonight. Congratulations to the Speed Factor team of Cabery and McCullum. Congratulations as well to RC Anderson on rounding out the podium. Looking forward to tomorrow night's race with the Pit Pass Network ARC Series back at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time from Chicagoland for their third last race of the season. Should be a good one. Be sure to tune in. Myself and William White will be on the call for that one. But on the call here tonight was myself, Robert Hill Jr., alongside Chris Wright. We thank you for joining us here all evening long. It was a fun one, and we hope you can continue to join us through the rest of the season with all the great racing action. And again, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Help us out. Let's reach 1K before the end of the week, and maybe we can have a little bit of a party, and maybe Chad will even cater it for us. But have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you next time right here on the Elite Racing Network.